Atlanta has never seen a meltdown like this before. What was supposed to be just another day of filming for love, and LHHATL turned into an all-out war when Jasmine, Washington, and Karlie Red shockingly teamed up and set their sights directly on Rasheeda. According to stunned insiders, the drama started with a heated argument over Kirk's leaked hotel tapes. But within seconds, it escalated into screams, shoving, and Rasheeda being ganged up on in front of the entire cast. Producers rushed in, security swarmed the set, cameras kept rolling as the unthinkable unfolded. Jasmine and Karlie throwing hands at Rasheeda in full view of everyone. Fans who've seen the leaked clips are calling it the most explosive fight in franchise history. Cast members were left speechless. The crew couldn't believe what they were filming, and producers. They're already calling it ratings gold dot on most filming days. The chaos at Empire Soundstage hums like an air conditioner always there, sometimes loud, never shocking. But on that morning, the air wasn't humming, it was crackling. Pop jogged with headsets. Producers whispered in corners like stock traders at bell time. Security did 2 extra sweeps of the green room hallway. Even the glam squad kept their voices down, as if hairspray could ignite the tension floating over the set. At the center of it all were 3 women the city knew too well. Rania Frost, the self-made mogul who had swallowed her pride for love more times than anybody deserved. Jasmine Karlie, the beautiful storm who never seemed to run out of receipts. And Carla Rouge, the franchise's certified spoon-stirrer oracle parts friend. Foe and narrator, depending on which camera was rolling. The last 2 weeks had been a slow-motion car crash. First came the downtown hotel leak rainy, late night. Footage of a man who looked too much like Cade Frost, slipping into a room beside a woman in a silk robe who looked far too much like Jasmine. Then came the invoice, the check-in form, and the whisper radio that sounded like Cade hissing. "Don't post anything. You know how Rania gets?" The internet did what it always does, memmed, judged, and picked sides. But it wasn't the internet that broke Rania, it was time. Each new drop shaved a layer off her composure until the day she went live in her kitchen. Whispered, "I'm living in a lie," and shut the camera off like it burned. Through it all, Karla watched. Say what you want about her, but Karla understands TV physics. Gravity is drama. And the bigger the mass, the stronger the pull. Rania's heartbreak was a black hole. Jasmine's smirk was a red giant. Cade's denials. Space junk combusting. On entry, Karla could feel the ratings tugging at her bones. She also knew something else when producers smell a supernova. They build a stage. They called it a round table. Neutral lighting. 2 velvet couches at 45 degrees. Flowers. So tasteful, they looked fake. The run-of-show bullet points were deceptively calm. Segment A, moving forward Rania solo segment B. Owning the narrative Jasmine solo segment C. Mutual closure Rania plus Jasmine. Moderated segment D. Friend check-in Karla joins behind the laminate, though was a war room. A line producer circled segment C with a red marker hard enough to dent the paper. "It pops," she said. "We pivot to D fast. Cameras lock wide. Security stage left." Someone else added, "Don't cut if they stand ollie. If someone throws TV has rules. Ratings have exceptions." 8:12 a.m. Rania arrived first. Hoodie up, eyes bare. She'd slept 3 hours and woken to a nightmare that hadn't ended. Her mother, Mama Art, came with her, a quiet storm in flats and a crossbody bag. She kissed her daughter's forehead in the makeup chair and murmured, "You are not a storyline. You are my child." The room exhaled. Even the powder brush slowed down. 8:34 a.m., Karla drifted in with her signature soft focus chaos, sunglasses inside. Nude gloss on the lips, a perfume trail that said, "I know something you don't." She found Rania between 2 racks of wardrobe and tried gentle first. "You eat." Rania shook her head. "I can't stomach anything," she said. Karla nodded, pained, then did what Karla does, split empathy with honesty. "If you won't eat, at least don't let them eat you." 9:05. A.M. Jasmine's arrival was not subtle. She never is. Skin like candlelight, hair in a sleek low pony, nails a lethal neutral. She came with a PR girl, a stylist, and a smile that advertised immunity. Morning, she sang to no one and everyone, then slid into the glam chair like a throne. Da. PA taking talent tamps scribbled hot next to her name. The pre-interviews told 3 different stories. Rania, voice soft, hands folded. I stood beside a man who kept moving the goalposts. Every time I forgave, the field got longer. I don't know what today is, but it isn't healing. It's Jasmine, shoulder up, tone cool. Everybody loves the truth until it isn't theirs. I didn't create this mess, I documented it. Carla. A careful shrug. I believe in closure. I also believe closure sometimes looks like a slammed door. The first segment played like a funeral. Rania in taupe. Posture straight, words trembling. I don't need apologies. I need peace. The control room stayed silent long after the director whispered, "Cut." 2 grips blinked hard. A camera op cleared his throat into his sleeve. Segment B was a courtroom. Jasmine perched, chin lifted. They act like I snuck into a happy home and set a fire. The house was smoking before I ever walked in. The director. Cut to the reaction camera Carla. Behind the curtain, jaw tight. Then came segment C, the powder keg. The moderator opened with a plea for grace. The universe laughed. Rania looked at Jasmine the way a shoreline looks at the ocean exhausted by 1,000 waves. You keep saying truth like it's a trophy, she said. Truth doesn't destroy people the way you've enjoyed destroying me. Jasmine's eyebrows didn't move. You're mad at the mirror, she replied, not the reflection. The room temperature rose 2 degrees. A boom mic trembled overhead. I'm mad at a woman, Rania said, voice steadying, who brought a match to my front door and called it daylight. Okay? And I'm mad at a man, Jasmine snapped back, who told me the porch light was his to turn on. There's a sound a set makes right before a storm. It's the opposite. Like air being sucked out of a room. That sound happened when Carla stepped onto the stage early, ahead of segment D. Palm raised in a half piece, half warning. Okay, she said, time out. Before this goes left, I need both of you to hear me. The moderator blinked. Director's voice crackled in the IFBs. Let Carla play. Stay wide. Rania, Carla said, turning to her friend first. You have bled for this love. You don't owe any more blood. She pivoted to Jasmine. And you, girl, you confusing? Exposure with empowerment. A trophy case of tapes don't make you a truth teller. It makes you an archivist of pain. Jasmine laughed. A soft, dangerous sound, says the woman who's made a career narrating other people's pain. Carla didn't flinch. Narrating ain't curating. Rania exhaled like a tire finally. Giving up air. Cannot do this. She whispered to herself or the room. No one knew. She stood. Cameras tracked up with her. Security tensed but held position. Producers exchanged a glance that read, hold. Don't touch it. Jasmine rose to slow as sunrise. You can't walk before we finish, she said. You don't get to step out of a story you kept alive for years. Rania turned back, eyes glassy and sharp at once. I kept my marriage alive. You kept a folder. That line hit bone. Somebody in the control room whispered, oh my God. Into a live mic, and the audio engineer slapped the mute like a panic button. Carla slid one. Foot between them, palms out. Not today, she warned. Not like this. But the physics were already happening. 3 orbits crossing the same point at reckless speed. What people forget about onset fights is that they're rarely about the first shove. They're about the 1,000 shoves before the ones you can't capture on camera. The night Rania slept on a sofa under a sponsorship blanket because she couldn't stand their bed. The morning Jasmine woke to a silence that tasted like a promise turning to ash. The years Carla spent translating other people's pain into episode beats while her own. Friendships frayed at the edges. Say it plain, Jasmine pushed. You hate me because I didn't lie for him. Rania's jaw worked. The camera punched, in tight enough to see the shimmer at her waterline. I hate, she said, voice low, that you love the audience more than the truth. The moderator tried to slide in a commercial reset. No one heard him. Carla reached for Rania's elbow knot. To restrain, just to anchor. We can leave, she murmured. Let's leave. And then the producer's phone buzzed. It was a push alert from a blog with the subtlety of a siren. Exclusive new audio. It's from the hotel night walking into 302 now. The announcement ricocheted around the crew like a rubber bullet. Somebody gasped. A P swore. The moderator lost the room. Jasmine saw it in the producer's pupils, the dopamine of a fresh drop. Go ahead, she said, chin up. Play it. Rania flinched. Don't you dare. Carla cut a glare at the control booth so sharp it could have nicked the lens. They didn't play it. But they didn't have to. The existence of the audio was gasoline. Jasmine stepped forward, not touching, but close enough to blur boundaries. He told me the room number because he wanted me there, she said, each word a match head. Rest is math. Rania stepped forward too, grief turning into something steel-tipped. He told me forever, she said, and you made sure it expired. The space between them shrank to a breath. Carla's voice thinned. Back up both. Of you. Of you. A chair leg screeched. A water bottle toppled and rolled. A light blinked to warn the operator it was overheating. Everything felt 5 degrees brighter and 3 inches closer. What happened next, no one would later agree on. The order of movements blurs when adrenaline edits the footage. Some say Jasmine's shoulder bumped first. Some swear Rania's wrist brushed Jasmine's as she gestured. Everyone agrees Carla moved in the medulla wedge, a shield, a fuse. Security flowed, not rushed to bodies becoming a wall. Hands. Visible, a guard murmured, palms out. The director's voice sliced the air. Stay wide, do not cut. Look at you, Jasmine hissed. Eyes locked on Rania over the security forearm between them. Still pretending you didn't know. The math. Look at you, Rania shot back, calling yourself a calculator when you're just a camera. Carla breathed through her teeth. Half prayer, half curse. We are not bleeding on velvet couches today. And that's where part 1 ends inches. Of air and a mile of history between 3 women who know how to love, how to fight, and how to turn both into television. With producers stunned, security braced, and a city holding its breath to see whether the next contact will be verbal, emotional, or loud enough to echo down the hallway, because some fights start with a punch. This one started with a playlist. Of Receipt Sand, the next track just queued up. The velvet couches had barely cooled after security wedged themselves between. Rania and Jasmine, when the real eruption began. What everyone thought was just another shouting match for cameras flipped into something no one on set, not even the producers who live for chaos, could have predicted. Because while the confrontation was explosive, the real twist wasn't the almost fight. It was the fact that Carla Rouge switched sides at first. Carla played referee, trying to hold the line between 2 hurricanes. She'd built her entire brand on stirring drama and then standing back to sip tea while it boiled over. But this time, something shifted. The moment Jasmine hissed, he told me the room number because he wanted me there. Carla's jaw clenched. The cameras caught it. That flicker of recognition. Like she knew the words weren't just sharp, they were calculated. So instead of holding ground in the middle, Carla leaned. And shockingly, dangerously, she leaned toward Jasmine. Rania. She said, loud enough for mics to catch. You can't be mad at someone for exposing what was already there. You need to stop blaming the messenger. The room froze. Rania's face cracked like porcelain under too much pressure. Her friend, the one she'd let in her house, confided in about late-night arguments. Cried too when the bistro accounts dipped, was siding with the woman who had humiliated her on global television. You, Rania whispered, her voice trembling more from betrayal than rage. You, of all people. Karla didn't blink. I'm saying what everybody's thinking. You kept forgiving a man who wasn't faithful. Don't shoot me because I'm not sugarcoating it. It was like a gunshot in the studio. Cast members who had been hiding in the wings gasped audibly. K-Ma-op muttered, "Oh, hell nah," under his breath, forgetting his mic was hot. Then the director stammered into the cums. Okay, stay on, Karla. This is new." Jasmine smirked like a cat who'd just been handed cream. "See," she said, turning to Rania. "Even your own people know I'm not the villain here. I didn't break your marriage. He did." And that's when Rania snapped, her composure shattered. "In front of everyone? Stop calling yourself the truth when you've been sleeping with my nightmare," she screamed. "Stop acting like you're innocent when you wanted this chaos. You wanted me broken. You wanted these cameras. You wanted me humiliated." Set went silent except for her voice. Security didn't move this time. They just watched, waiting for cues. But Jasmine didn't shrink. Stepped forward, toe-to-toe with Rania. "You think you're the only one who got hurt? He promised me to. You were his wife, but he told me I was his future. And now, he's the one hiding. Not me." That was the exact moment producers realized they had TV gold. The control room debated whether to cut to commercial. The showrunner overruled them. "Keep rolling. This is bigger than a fight." This is history. The first twist landed when Karla pulled out her phone mid-scene. Nobody expected it. Security stiffened, thinking she was calling for backup. But instead, she tapped her gallery, scrolled, and then held the screen out for the cameras. It was a screenshot, blurred, hard to read from a distance, but unmistakably a text thread between Kirk and Jasmine. The timestamp was from months ago. The highlighted line read, "Keep it quiet. Rania can't find out yet." Gasps ricocheted across the studio. "Where the hell did you get that?" Rania demanded. Her voice raw. Karla shrugged with that same devil's grin. "Receipts don't hide from me. I don't just stir the pot, I taste what's in it." The crew lost it. One PA mouthed she came armed to another. Cast members backstage pressed closer to monitors. Fans online because of course. Someone was live-lacking raw footage to Twitter. Instantly plastered screenshots with captions. Karla always got the tea. But for Rania, it wasn't funny. She looked betrayed by two people at once. So? "You knew?" she asked Karla, her voice breaking. "You knew he was sneaking around with her and you didn't tell me." Karla's eyes softened for the first time. "I didn't want to be the one to break you, sis. But now it's too late to protect you with silence." Jasmine wasn't fazed. She crossed her arms and smirked again. "See? Even your friends saw the truth. You've been living in denial. Don't hate me because your husband loved me too." The word loved was the dagger. Rania flinched like it was physical. Her knees buckled for a second before Mama R, who had been sitting quietly in the audience section, stood up and shouted, "Enough. Both of you stop." The entire set turned. Mama R's voice cracked like thunder. "You think this is a game? You think my daughter's tears are ratings? You better thank God these cameras are here, or security would not save you today." The crew froze. Even Jasmine's smirk slipped for a second. The producers, of course, ate it up. "Get a mic on." "Mama," the director barked. Now, a thick cliffhanger landed perfectly. 3 women screaming, a mother stepping in, security bracing, and a leaked screenshot hanging in the air like smoke. Because it wasn't just a fight anymore. It wasn't just another Rasheeda vs. Jasmine round. It was a war where alliances were shifting, receipts were dropping, and even family was ready to step into the ring. And the world was watching it unfold in real time. The text message screenshot should have been the peak of the drama, a smoking gun that left the room speechless, but instead it cracked the dam. With that one receipt, the entire set tipped from a heated argument into a full-scale eruption. The problem wasn't just the text itself, it was what it represented. Proof that Kirk, Rania's husband, had indeed been sneaking around with Jasmine.
Cool.
That Carla had known about it and that everyone had been lying to Rania's face for months. Betrayal layered on betrayal, and the world saw it hit her in real time. The escalation started with the reaction shots. Rania clutched her mic like it was the only thing keeping her upright. Her hands shook. U-K-N-E-W? She whispered again, looking directly at Carla. The betrayal in her voice carried through the entire soundstage. Cast members huddled in the wings gasped. Camera zoomed close enough to catch a single tear sliding down her cheek. Carla tried to play it cool, brushing imaginary lint off her dress. Sis, I didn't know how to tell you. You were already hurting. And you always defend him no matter what. I figured it would just be another fight. Another fight, Rania snapped. Her voice cracked into a scream. My life isn't a segment, Carla. That was it. The control room had their money shot. Keep on her, the director ordered. Tight clothes. Tote. Blink. Jasmine, ever the opportunist, leaned back in her chair, arms folded, enjoying the flames. Exactly what I said, she purred. Everybody knew but you. You been the last to find out every time. Rania lunged, taut security was too slow this time. The couches screeched against the floor as Rania charged toward Jasmine. Hand shot out. Not slaps yet, just grabbing for hair for anything. Jasmine shrieked and shoved back. Their mics picked up every word. You ruined my life. He wanted me, not you. Liar. Denial. The stage dissolved into chaos. Security dove in, but not before Carla stepped forward, hands raised, trying to separate them. Stop, stop. She yelled, but in the mess of swinging arms, someone shoved her too. She stumbled, heels skidding across the glossy set floor. That's when the shocking reveal dropped. As security restrained Rania and Jasmine, a producer offstage shouted, "Cut, cut!" But the director refused. No, keep rolling. And then, as if on cue, a PA's phone lit up with a push notification. Exclusive new audio clip from Kirk's alleged hotel night. The room froze. Every single person's eyes snapped toward the screen in the producer's hand. The audio played seconds later on social media, and of course, half the crew saw it in real time. It was Kirk's voice, clear as day, whispering, "Don't let Rania see the texts. Delete them before she finds out." The sound was like a bomb detonating on set. Rania went limp in security's arms, staring blankly at the ground. Jasmine smirked triumphantly, whispering, "Told you." Carla's face drained of color. She tried to steady Rania, but Rania shoved her away. "Don't touch me," she hissed. The cameras caught it all. The cast backstage exploded. Spice screamed into her phone live. "Me Sayant, believe this. Me say it from day one, that man a disgrace." Erica Dixon stormed into frame yelling how many times she gotta see receipts before she leaves. Him. Even Bambi chimed in on Twitter, posting a snake emoji with 3 laughing faces. The fans online were merciless. One viral tweet said, "This isn't Love and Hip Hop anymore. This is Discovery Channel. How to humiliate your wife in 4K. Memes flooded TikTok. Kirk edited as a hotel receptionist. Rania walking out with Free at Last playing. Jasmine holding a truth trophy. But what broke the internet most wasn't the fight, the shove, or even the leaked audio. It was Mama R. She stormed onto the set like a hurricane, ignoring producers waving her back. She pointed at Carla first. "You ain't no friend. Friends don't hold knives behind their backs." Then she turned on Jasmine. "You call yourself truth, but you're poison. You smiling while my baby breaks in front of the world?" Finally, she spun toward the cameras. "And you," she yelled at production, "you don't care about her? You care about your ratings. Well, guess what? These tears, they're not for your season finale. They're for her soul." The crew was stunned. Some even applauded quietly. Producers, though, whispered furiously in their headsets, "Get her. Mic off now. The cliffhanger came as security dragged Jasmine one way, Rania the other. The set was wrecked, flowers overturned, couches skewed. The moderator shouted for calm, but no one listened. And then Carla, standing in the middle, muttered under her breath, but the hot mic caught it. "This is all going to air. Every second of it." The control room gasped. Did Carla just confirm producers would air the fight? The audio, the betrayal? Fans watching leaks online screamed, "Air it! Air everything!" Because this wasn't just a reunion episode anymore. It was shaping up to be the most destructive moment in franchise history. The soundstage looked like love had wrestled with lightning and lost. Velvet couches skewed at odd angles, florals face down. A glittering trail of rhinestones and setting powder marking the skirmish line. Security held position, crew reset lights in tight, embarrassed circles, and a frazzled PA wheeled in too. Racks of backup wardrobe like a Band-Aid cart at a battlefield. In Control B. The showrunner pinched the bridge of her nose. "We need a cooling reset," she said, voice flat. 15 minutes, no phones. The ad relayed it overcomes. The phrase "no phones" pinged through the crew like a slap. Everybody knew what had nuked the room wasn't just the near fight. It was the push alert about the new hotel audio that detonated mid-take. Rania was in Green Room 2. Perched on the edge of a chair like she didn't trust furniture anymore. Someone had pressed a cold bottle of water into her hand. She hadn't. Opened it, makeup tried to dab her cheeks, and got a gentle, haunted no. Mama R paced a small V into the carpet, then stopped and planted both palms on her daughter's shoulders. "Listen to me," she said, steady as a metronome. "Walk when you're ready, not when they're rolling." Across the hall in Green Room 1, Jasmine sat cross-legged on the couch, perfectly composed, a tiny crack of adrenaline humming at her temples. Her PR girl rattled off talking points: truth, accountability, moving forward, but Jasmine's eyes stayed on her screen, thumb hovering above an unnamed folder in her cloud. She smiled at the icon like it was a pet. "We're not even in Act 2, she murmured. Carla stood alone in a dim wardrobe corridor, staring at her reflection in a scrap of mirror clipped to a garment rack. The thing about being a professional pot stirrer is some days the spoon feels heavier than your arm. She replayed the moment she'd held up that Kirk Jasmine text and watched Rania's face fold. Did I just save her from a longer lior? Throw her off a cliff? Reset in 5. A PA called the showrunner, yanked the entire plan apart, and rebuilt it on a legal pad. Segment C2, Aftermath check-ins. Solo pickups, Segment D. Moderated circle, tight rules. No crosstalk, hold Carla until the last 5. In case she detonates the room against standards and practices, pinged the comes. If more third-party audio appears. Bleep names. We need releases. Legal added, if talent threatens to walk, do not coerce on mic. The network wanted ratings. Legal wanted plausible deniability. Production wanted both. They rolled anyway. Pickup 1, Rania. Close lens, soft bounce, chair at a diagonal. She didn't cry, she leveled. I loved a man who treated my hope like a subscription, renewed it every time I tried to cancel, she said, voice even. I'm not renewing. The control room fell so quiet you could hear the assistant editor's pen. Stop. Pickup 2, Jasmine. She didn't soften. Not the fire, she said, eyes straight down the barrel. I'm the smoke alarm. If you're mad, I screamed, ask who lit the match. The line would trend before the hour ended. They brought them back to the main, set with a new ground rule. No remaining within arm's reach. Security and soft perimeter. Moderator empowered to hard cut and clear. The women's sedan orbit with a chair between them. The moderator began carefully. Given what we all just experienced, Jasmine smiled without teeth. Experienced or filmed, Rania didn't bite. Every time I try to say goodbye, new clip says hello, she said. It's not truth-telling, it's torture. Truth doesn't get less true because it's painful, Jasmine countered. Painful for who? Rania asked. Because every drop sounds like applause to you. Before the moderator could triage, a floor producer hustled in with a tablet, face pale. She whispered to the showrunner, who went still, then looked up at the ceiling as if bargaining with the lights. We need to hold for a second, she said. Audible now. We have a war development. Phones were technically banned. The internet was not a mid-tier blog had posted a new angle of the earlier scuffle clean, wide shot from above, crisp as a demo reel. The caption read, "Leaked boom cam scene angle of the set meltdown." There is only one camera with that angle, and it doesn't stream to the hallway. Who pulled the boom feed? The ad hissed. Not post, said an engineer, already flipping between router maps. This came out of the building. The showrunner's stomach dropped. A leak from inside is a headache. A leak from above is a betrayal. On set, the leak played. Like a wind change, everyone felt it at once. Rania's eyes flicked to the rafters. Jasmine tilted her head, amused. You're losing your own footage now? She asked the room. That's tough. Then the second twist landed with a vibration in Carla's pocket. Unknown airdrop wants to share _300 tulabi dashcam.mov. Her thumb hovered, heart kicking. She shouldn't. She did. The clip cracked open full screen. Time-stamped hotel lobby. Camera angle weirdly high like an internal dome. A man who looked like Cade Frost strode past concierge. Moments later, Jasmine hair up, hoodie downslipped through the revolving doors. 15 seconds later, a third figure appeared, a woman in a baseball cap and floor-length trench. The camera caught her in profile just long enough to suggest, not prove. The file name pulsed at the top. _302.Carla felt the blood leaving her legs. The trench, the gate. The absurd hope that maybe she was wrong. She wasn't. She recognized the third figure like you recognize your own handwriting. Not Rania, not Mama, or not a random a friend. The control room called for a pause nobody heard, an instinct. Carla killed the screen, locked her phone, and breathed through the spike of nausea. If I show this, I salt the earth. If I hide this, I become exactly what I just accused everyone else of being. The mirror scrap in the wardrobe hall flashed in her memory, a dumb little rectangle reflecting a much bigger mess. The moderator tried to corral the moment back to the script. We can't speak to any nude, unauthenticated material, except it's always authenticated when it hurts me. Rania said, not unkind, just tired. Then let's hurt the right person, Jasmine said, and for the first time there was something in her tone that wasn't victory. He's the through line, not me. Carla swallowed. She raised a hand. I have something, she said. The room turned. The showrunner's eyes widened in microscopic no shakes. Standards and practices texted do not. The director whispered, stay wide, out of pure reflex. Carla kept her phone face down. Not to play, she added, to say. She angled toward Rania. You were not the only woman scheduled to be heartbroken. It's all I'm going to say without counsel in the room. A silence stacked like chairs. Then Mama R's voice. Low, but sure you don't owe this set your daughter's sanity. She took Rania's hand. Let's go. And for a beat, it looked like they would. Rania pushed her chair back. The mic pack tugged at her waist. The boom dipped reflexively. The door out of the mess cracked open, real and metaphorical. That's when legal stepped in literally, a council badge on a lanyard, palms up. We're invoking a production pause, she announced. No further cross allegations without a controlled review. Everyone off camera for 15. The showrunner exhaled. Safety, a pause button. A chance to keep the day from turning into a lawsuit graveyard. They cut power to the tally lights. Mics went cold. The set exhaled as one organism dot in the darkened. Lol, things clarified. Rania whispered to Mama R. I don't want to be brave on TV. I just want to be gone. Jasmine thumbed a new post-draft, cursor blinking at the words, truth does not equal cruelty. She wasn't sure she believed it yet. Karla hovered at the edge of the stage, phone hot in her pocket, weighing bombs against bandages. Production huddled. The showrunner. Legal standards. 2 execs on speaker. We can restructure, the showrunner said. Pivot Act 3 to individual statements. No crossfire. Tease an internal review instead of more drops. Give the audience a breath before the reunion. Tease what? An exec asked, and as if summoned, the assistant editor burst in, breathless. We found the source of the boom leak, she said. It wasn't us. It was a cast device piggybacking the Wi-Fi. Address matches a phone that authenticated on the talent network at call time. She swallowed. Not Rainia's, not Jasmine's. The room glanced as one toward the wardrobe corridor where Karla was standing very still. The showrunner's jaw flexed. We can't accuse on a hunch, legal warned. Lock the networks. Rotate passwords. Pull logs. Quietly. They powered the tally lights back on. Mics warmed. The moderator returned to his mark with the expression of a man trying to talk a storm into raining politely. Last segment, he said gently, no new material. 1 question each. What do you need to heal? Jasmine went first. Silence. Surprised everyone, including her Karla next. She took longer consequences, she said finally. Even if they land on people we like? Rainia stared into the lens long enough for a crew member to wonder if time had bent. Distance, she answered. From him, from this. From everything. That keeps breaking me in public. They rapped. It didn't feel like an ending. It felt like a breath-held dot, as the women were walked to separate exits. Karla's phone vibrated against a anonymous airdrop handle. 302 front desks. New file, smaller name, greenroom-cam.mov. The preview tile showed a timestamp from that morning and a sliver of trench coat at the edge of frame. Karla declined. For now, outside, the Atlanta heat pressed a damp hand against the glass. Inside, the showrunner scribbled a new end card on the rundown. An internal review of newly surfaced materials is underway. Portions of this episode have been submitted to standards and legal. Another line beneath it. For the trailer, the reunion, receipts, under oath. Across town, a burner account tweeted a still from a lobby cam that looked suspiciously like the one Karla had seen, cropped just enough to make everyone dangerous and no one safe. The caption read, Room 302 was never about one night. And somewhere between truth and television, 3 women walked in 3 directions, each carrying a different version of the same story, and each knowing the next drop could turn her into the villain or the hero with a single frame. The city held its breath again. The producers were, once more, stunned. And the audience. They weren't asking whether there'd be another twist. They were waiting to see who it would swallow next. By the time the studio lights dimmed and the cameras finally cut, the fight wasn't just locked inside the soundstage anymore. It had already spilled out into the public arena. Leaked clips, push alerts, and live fan tweets had turned the near brawl into trending chaos. What producers wanted to bottle for the reunion had gone viral overnight, and the reaction was nothing short of seismic. Twitter was merciless. One viral tweet with over 300,000 likes read, "This isn't Love and Hip Hop anymore. This is Mortal Kombat, ATL edition." Another paired Jasmine's smirk with Rania's tear-streaked face under the caption, "The villain always thinks she's the hero." Fans debated furiously. Was Rania too fragile, or was she finally standing up to a decade of humiliation? Was Karla the ultimate snake for flashing receipts, or just the only one bold enough to show the truth? The hashtags #Team Rania, #Team JAZMYNE, and #Karla Knew all trended simultaneously. TikTok creators ran wild with reenactments of the fight, complete with wigs, folding chairs, and slow-motion edits. One clip spliced the leaked audio of Kirk whispering, "Delete the texts over Rania collapsing mid-argument. Captions, Sis deserves peace, not plots. Another creator stitched Mama R's fiery speech. You don't care about her, you care about your ratings. Into thousands of videos about toxic relationships, turning her into a folk hero online. Instagram blogs had a field day. Shade Room posted side-by-side stills. Carla holding up her phone with the Kirk Jasmine texts versus Rania's face shattering in real time. The caption, friends or frenemies. The comments section exploded. Tamar Braxton dropped chili. Carlo Ways got the tea. Cardi B left a popcorn emoji. Spice commented simply. Misiant believed Dems still defending him. Even celebrities outside the franchise joined in. Rick Ross posted a meme of Kirk edited as a hotel concierge with the caption, "Welcome to room 302. No loyalty allowed." Charlemagne Thaw got on the Breakfast Club roasted. Imagine swearing on TV that you love your wife while your side chick drops files on Dropbox like it's homework. But the industry's reaction was even louder. Sponsors tied to Frost Bistro reportedly began pulling back, worried about being linked to the scandal. Yelp reviews nosedived again. Food bland, lies spicy. Bloggers filmed themselves outside the restaurant, whispering lines like, "Don't order dessert unless you want a side of betrayal." Meanwhile, promoters whispered that Jasmine was suddenly in high demand for appearances booked not for music or modeling, but simply for being the messiest woman in Atlanta. Carla's reputation, however, took the most unpredictable hit. Fans split down the middle. Some applauded her bravery for exposing Kirk with the text receipts, trending hashtag Carla New as a badge of honor. Others called her the ultimate backstabber for blindsiding Rania on camera. Dubbing her Carly Snake 2.0, one viral thread summed it up. Carla always delivers for the cameras, but at what cost to her friendships? The cast reactions kept fueling the fire. Erica Dixon posted cryptically, "At some point, the circus gotta end." Bambi tweeted, "Can't be everybody else's fault every time." Spice went live shaking her head. "Me done with this. The receipt stem, too heavy." Even Safari slid in with a messy Instagram story, and they say, "I'm the problem, lol." But what rattled fans most was the reunion teaser. Within 24 hours, VH1 dropped a 30-second trailer. It opened with Rania storming out of the studio, Mama R screaming at production, Jasmine flashing that sinister smirk, and Carla whispering into her mic, "Everything will air." The screen cut to black with the words, the tapes, the texts, the truth. Reunion coming soon. Fans lost their minds. "I'm clearing my schedule. This is about to be the Super Bowl of betrayal. Room 302 is a TL history now?" Cliffhanger came when one anonymous burner account posted a still image from what appeared to be hotel security footage. Timestamp blurred. Figures shadowy, but enough to spark chaos. The caption read, "Room 302 was never just one night." The internet froze. Was this yet another leak? Was there more footage waiting to explode? Or was someone inside production feeding the flames? Whatever the truth, one thing was clear. The fight wasn't just on set anymore. It was on every phone screen, every gossip blog, every fan's mind. And if this was just the public reaction, the final twist at the reunion promised to be catastrophic. The reunion stage was supposed to bring resolution. Instead, it became the battlefield where every unanswered question, every leaked file, and every whispered betrayal detonated at once. The energy was electric the moment. The cast sat down under the hot studio lights. Rania sat rigid in a floor-length black dress. Her mother seated just a few feet away, glaring at Kirk like she was daring him to breathe wrong. Jasmine walked in late, smirking like the stage was her runway. Carla took her seat with a blank face, but fans could already sense she was holding something back. The moderator opened carefully. We've all seen the headlines, the hotel tapes, the leaked texts. The boom cam footage. Tonight, we're going to face it head on. Gasps. echoed when the big screen flickered on. Producers had promised not to air unverified footage, but the screen lit up with the very thing fans had been whispering about for weeks. Room 302. Security footage. The grainy video showed Kirk walking through a hotel lobby, head ducked, low under a baseball cap. Seconds later, Jasmine followed, glancing over her shoulder. And then the shocking third figure, a woman in a trench coat, profiled just clear enough to stir chaos. The audience screamed. The cast shifted in their seats. "Who is that?" The moderator asked, his voice trembling with the drama. Rasheeda covered her face. "You've got to be kidding me," she whispered. Jasmine folded her arms. "Told y'all it wasn't just me." Then all eyes turned to Karla. She was pale, her hands clenched in her lap. The angle, the trench, the gate, she'd seen it before. She knew exactly who that third figure was. "Say it, Karla," Jasmine taunted. "You were so quick to flash. Texts. Say, who's in the trench?" The moderator tried to calm the storm, but it was too late. Fans in the live audience shouted guesses. The cast murmured accusations. Mama R stood and barked. This is what happens when snakes film snakes. Karla finally snapped. She rose from her seat and shouted, "I'm not the one destroying her. Life, he is." She pointed at Kirk, who sat stiff, jaw tight, refusing to speak. But the damage was done. The audience roared. Rasheeda burst into tears. Security edged closer to the stage as Jasmine and Karla squared off again, screaming over each other. The moderator's mic was drowned out, and then the real cliffhanger hit. A producer rushed on stage mid-chaos, headset crackling. He handed the moderator a phone. The moderator's eyes widened as he read the alert. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said slowly, "a new file has just been uploaded by an anonymous source. It's titled 302fold.mp4. The stage went silent. Rasheeda looked like she might collapse again. Jasmine smirked wider than ever. Karla whispered under her breath, "God help us." The episode cut to black right there, bold white letters slamming onto the screen. Next week, the full tape will play. Fans in the audience screamed. The internet detonated. And the reunion promised what no one thought they'd actually dare, airing the full room. 302 footage for the world to see. And as the cast stormed off the stage, one thing was clear when that video finally aired. It wouldn't just end a marriage, it could end friendships, reputations, and maybe even the entire Frost legacy. Because the truth wasn't just coming. The truth was queued up, ready to play. The stage might have gone dark, but the drama is only getting started. 4 weeks, leaks have shattered lives, receipts have burned bridges, and alliances have collapsed in front of millions. But tonight's cliffhanger changed everything. The Room 302 lobby footage was shocking enough, but that mysterious trench-coated figure and the promise of 302-full.mp4 has fans screaming that the worst is still to come. Will Rasheeda finally walk away for good when the full truth plays? Will Jasmine's smirk turn into fear when her own role is exposed? And will Karla survive the backlash now that she's tied to the ugliest betrayal ATL has ever seen? The reunion hasn't ended, it's just been set on fire. When the full tape airs, the cast won't just break down. It might break apart forever. Stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe because the bomb hasn't even dropped yet.